Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. A pleasant day to each and everyone. So in this video, we'll discuss the course guide or course outline for Nursing 120.2, which is for the Fundamentals of Nursing Practice Skills Laboratory. So Fundamentals of Nursing Practice Skills Laboratory, or NSG 120.2, is a foundational nursing course which centers on the basic nursing procedures that are essentials in health promotion, disease prevention, restoration, maintenance, and rehabilitation. This course introduces the students to various nursing skills important for future nurse client interactions and care provisions in varied healthcare settings. Laboratory courses such as NSG 120.2 is a crucial component of the learning process of nursing students as it fosters skills development, training, and education. Having the necessary and appropriate skills will enable nursing students to build on confidence and work efficiency. This foundational course is comprised of basic nursing skills which are grouped under the following categories. First, we will start discussing or start performing the basic infection control. The next, we have the hygiene and comfort. The next, we have the mobility and safety. Another one is assisting with elimination and perennial care, oxygenation and fluids and electrolytes, and all of the skills procedures identified under each categories included in this course are deemed necessary, which can be applied and used in providing basic care to clients in future clinical and related learning exposure. So it's very important that you know how to do this kind of basic procedure kasi once you will be exposed in the hospital soon, you will know what are these basic procedures na kailangan yung gawin in the hospital setting. So the rationale for this course, so normal routines have been disrupted for everyone due to COVID-19 pandemic. Many sectors have been forced to change how they operate in order to adapt and survive in the new normal. This includes the education sector. There is a shift from face-to-face classes to an online setting. So this class will be, syempre alam natin online tayo ngayon. Bago pa lang na-approve yung ating face-to-face or limited face-to-face classes sa ating skills, and I will just keep you posted or updated if when will it be, okay, at least siguro, ang sabi kasi ni Dean, pwede yung kahit once lang tayo makamit for this semester for as long as you have tried the limited face-to-face. We'll just wait until further notice para at least alam natin, and we are guided by the rules and guidelines para sa limited face-to-face. So the College of Health Sciences is one of the 17 colleges in the university mandated to come up with a course book incorporating flexible learning, including course design, syllabi, and modules which can be accomplished by both educators and the students. So, ito siya. Ang gagawin natin is blended learning. So, it is a flexible learning in which it may be an asynchronous or synchronous. So, mostly talaga ang mangyayari dito is asynchronous because you will send me your pre-recorded videos as your return demonstration, and the demo that I will be sending is through video also na pre-recorded by our faculty, and also are the mga videos na appropriate for the procedures needed. Okay, so the objective of this is the guideline presented here have the objectives of the guiding the College of Health Sciences and providing a framework by which they can follow on how to properly implement flexible learning options. Okay, so ano yung mga course format or the class format of this subject. So the basic information about the concepts and lessons of this course will be presented here, and discussion will be interactive through Google Classroom, Zoom software application, Facebook Messenger, Telegram application. Other questions, clarifications, and comments may be directed through the personal email accounts and contact numbers of your respective instructor. So for the course requirements, ang pinakamalaking or number one na course requirement for this subject is your simulation videos or your skills testing videos. So, yung return demonstration videos ninyo. So, being a laboratory and skills subject, improvement in skills is one of the important criteria for learning. Actual observation of the student's performance and executing procedures are primary assessment tool for any skills subjects. As adjustment to online learning, the students will be submitting a video showing simulations of a scenario or performing a certain procedure. The videos must show the specific steps of the procedure. A rubric on evaluating the simulation videos or skills testing video is provided below. So, ito yung ating rubrics on assessing the simulation videos para hindi nyo na ako tatanungin, ma'am, ano kaya yung score ng aking video? Okay, so ito yung basis ko. Hindi lang ako basta-basta nagbibigay ng 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 na wala akong basis. Okay, for demonstration of understanding the concept or procedure. So, pag exit standards, which is nasa 90 to 100, for ang ibibigay. So the students perform with exceeding marks the procedure with additional readings done to improve the content of the procedure. So dinadagdagan ninyo, such as sinasabi niyo yung definition, the purpose, the nursing considerations for the procedure, which are fully emphasized during the presentation. Pag 3, it meets the standard. So, nasa 80 to 89. The student's performance generally meets the standards and has followed the checklist and noted the key points of the procedure during the presentation. The definition, okay, the purpose, the nursing considerations for the procedure are fully emphasized during the presentation. Yung dito sa number 4, pag exceeds the standards, mas sinobrahan niya pa, mas dinagdagan niya pa yung learnings niya and readings niya regarding on the said procedure. And then, for 2, we have progressing to the standards, nasa 75 to 79. Students missed some salient points in performing the procedures and was unable to completely show full understanding of the concept. And pag 1 is below standard, the student doesn't perform well, missed out all salient points, and was not able to complete the procedure presentation. Pero pag wala kayong sinubmit, 0 na talaga yan siya automatically. Okay? For demonstration of understanding of the rationale of the procedural steps. Okay, so I will give you your checklist, and with your checklist, makikita ninyo na walang rationale doon. So some procedures have no rationale, so you will give the rationale for each procedure. So, saan nyo makikita on your books, such as yung Kuzir and Herbs, na Fundamentals of Nursing, andoon yung mga iba't ibang checklist, okay, or health assessment na libro, andoon din. Pwede nyong kunin yan siya na reference to have your rationale. Okay, so you are all tasked to give your rationale for each procedure para when you will perform, okay, with your return demonstration na video, sinasabi nyo na rin yung rationale per procedure. So, example lang natin, explain the procedure. So, first step is explain the procedure to your patient. So, bakit natin ina-explain? So, that is the rationale. Bakit natin ina-explain yung procedure sa ating patient? This is to enhance their cooperation and to give them knowledge about the certain procedure that you will do. Okay, so that is the rationale. So, for 4, we will grade pag exceed siya sa standards, meaning the procedure was well rationalized all throughout the entire presentation. Pag 3, the student gives rationale for the procedural steps and is clearly stated and emphasized. So, pag sa 4, mayroon siyang additional information that is not in the checklist. Okay? And then for 3, progressing to standard, the student missed some rationale for some steps of the procedure. And for 1, the student failed to mention the rationale behind the procedural steps. For organization, the procedural steps are presented in a consistently logical manner and it is properly managed or organized pag 4 siya. So, dapat kung ano yung step 1, step 2, step 3, dapat yun din yung ifa-follow natin. Kung nakakaligtaan, nakakalimutan, so hindi na siya organized and hindi na siya naka-exceed sa ating standards. Pag sa 3 naman, if it will be graded, pag if the students or the procedural steps are presented based on the procedural manual checklist, we will give two para if the student provided some procedural step which are poorly organized and confusing, and one if the procedural steps are poorly organized and confusing. Okay, for the presentation. Okay. So first, the accuracy of execution. So meaning dapat tama yung ginagawa mo, hindi lang hindi lang hula-hula na okay, ito yung tama, ito yung hindi yung pinakita sa video. Dapat based sa kung ano man yung pinakita sa inyo na video or basis ninyo na video. So we have execution of steps are accurate and precise. The video clearly demonstrates each single step with emphasis on intricate details of this procedure. For 3 points, execution of steps are generally accurate and precise, and the presentation is clear and demonstrates the mastery of the steps being done. For score 2, some steps are poorly performed. Inaccurate details are committed in some parts of the presentation. And score 1, poorly accurate details are observed in the entire presentation. For the spontaneity and delivery, so the student is very well prepared and executes the procedure in a clear and concise manner. Pag 4, I advise you to not have your checklist beside you when you will perform. As much as possible, you need to memorize the checklist para mas maganda yung flow ng video presentation niyo. Okay? So, kung hindi naman makaya na i-memorize siya, so you can have your código on the back na hindi siya visible sa video itself. You will make your own, gagamitin nyo, kung gagamitin nyo cartolina or Manila paper, nakalagay doon yung checklist. Depende na yan sa inyo. For as long as hindi siya visible sa video, tapos hindi nyo siya talagang hinahawakan nyo and then binabasa nyo lang. Okay? So, for score 3, the student was well prepared and executed the presentation clearly without depending too much on notes. And then, for score 2, the student lacks spontaneity and spontaneity in the delivery of some parts of the presentation. And for score 1, the student poorly delivered the video presentation. For creativity and resourcefulness, the student makes most of what is available at home for utilization in the procedure. Ayoko yung, ma'am, wala kaming ganito, ganyan. So, ano yung gagawin ko? So, as much as possible, take initiative. Maghanap kayo ng available na pwede nyong gamitin na that can replace if you don't have the specific equipment. You can make, okay? Kasi there are students that they make, equipments, their own equipments, na example lang natin kung if ever ganon yun siya. Okay, alam ko na nahihirapan kayo because you are not in the school setting na hindi kayo maka-video, hindi kayo makahiram ng equipment, but you need to be resourceful, okay, para naman makasubmit kayo ng video. Kasi hindi naman din maganda yung sasabihin nyo na, ma'am, wala akong oxygen, ganito, so hindi na lang po ako magsasubmit ng video. So, bahala na kayo doon kasi you will be marked 0 on your video presentation. So, you need to be creative as much as possible, resourcefulness. Kung ano yung available sa bahay na pwedeng pang-replace doon sa kailangan na equipment sa video or sa certain procedure, you can do it naman. Okay? For score 4, the student makes the video output as creative as possible. Improvised materials are used and the setting used is generally acceptable. For score 2, the presentable has some degree of creativity but inadequate materials are observed and most of the equipment are imagination. And for score 1, the presentation lacks creativity. Materials are insufficient to provide a decent video of the procedural steps. So, example lang natin, lahat na lang gagawin mong imaginary. Imagine that I'm holding a nice nasal cannula. Imagine that I'm holding a BP app. Imagine, ganito na lang. So, hindi pwede lahat imagine kasi when you will go to your actual setup, hindi na yon imaginary. Okay? So, for learning activity output, the learning activity includes filling out and answering of the procedure checklist to answer the definition, purposes, nursing considerations, rationale of each step. So, ito yung sinasabi ko sa inyo. Ito yung mga i-fill out ninyo. sorry, filled out checklist will be submitted back to the instructor in a clear image format. Okay. So, ma'am, is it encoded? No. It is handwritten. So, isisend nyo sa akin siya. So, you may have to print, okay, the checklist, and you will write your purposes. Okay, so if you fill out nyo yung checklist, and then you will take a picture of it, and then ang isisend nyo sa akin is the image. So bakit handwritten? Para mas ma-review kayo, kasi you will read kung ano yung mga certain, and then nasusulat nyo, hindi nyo nakakalimutan kasi naisulat nyo. While as pag copy paste, hindi nyo na yan siya binabasa kung tama, kasi kinokopya nyo lang siya from a siguro from a source na sa tingin yung reliable. Okay? So, for modular evaluation exam, so, most probably, I will give an evaluation exam every after module para mas ma-utilize natin and para ma-assess ko if naintindihan nyo ba per module. So, yung sinasabi kong per module is yung division natin ng kanina sinabi ko, which is dinivide yung mobility and safety, yung basic infection control. So, yun yung flow niya. And then, each module na matapos natin, magbibigay ako ng evaluation exam. For quizzes, there are evaluation quizzes to be given upon the discretion of the respective instructor for requirement. Okay, so dito, I will give you a class requirement, which is you will provide me a portfolio. Okay, you individual portfolio. Itong portfolio na to, i-discuss ko mamaya. Pero introduction, this is a kumbaga para siyang documentation ninyo in making your videos. So, you will take pictures ng mga behind the scenes na video ninyo na pinapakita nyo talaga na kayo yung gumagawa ng video ninyo. From the performing the video down to editing the video, okay, making your creative materials and all. So, yun yung ating portfolio. So, I will discuss it further later. Okay? For attendance and attitude, so, syempre, itong attendance ito is based on the online class participation. If meron tayong synchronous class, if you attended it, so, it is recorded. So, the students' attendance during synchronous meetings will be checked by their respective instructor. In case of poor internet connection, entry to forum or discussion box will be considered attendance for the schedule. Participation or synchronous or asynchronous means and punctuality in submitting requirements and learning activity will also reflect attitude. So, if you are early in submitting your return demonstration videos, if walang palyado, kumpleto yan siya, it will be recorded as your attitude. Kasi kailangan na punctual tayo. Okay? We nurses should be punctual at all times kasi when we do our duties, before 1 hour before ang ating duty, dapat doon na tayo sa hospital setting. Okay? So, return demonstration guidelines. Ano yung mga guidelines natin dito? So, pursuant to the mandate of the university to observe maximum leniency during pandemic, the student will be given 2-week allowance from the set deadline of submission of return demonstration to complete due requirements. Should the student fail to submit output after 2 weeks allowance, 0 grade for that specific activity or requirement will be given, and submissions made after for the given allowance will no longer be accepted. Okay? Ito ha. So, dahil meron tayong policy sa school na kailangan, sabi nila, no student must be left behind. So, we will give 2 weeks allowance, okay? Na, example, ito yung deadline. Tapos, I will give another 2 weeks allowance para lang makahabol kayo sa deadline. If lagpas na sa deadline na yung 2 weeks allowance na yon, 0 na kayo sa grade na yon or sa certain procedure na yon, and hindi ko na i-accept. Okay? Para maliwanag lang ha, 2 weeks allowance yun siya after the deadline. So, pag hindi pa kayo makasubmit after 2 weeks na binigay ko, after the deadline, nag-deadline ako ngayon, and then after 2 weeks yung leniency ko. So, after 2 weeks, hindi pa rin kayo nakasubmit, automatic zero, and I will not accept. Sabihin nyo, Mom, pwede po bang paki-accept ganito kasi for more than, umabot na ng 1 month yung nalagpas mo sa leniency ko. Hindi ko na siya tatanggapin. So, do not make me as a bad instructor that I am not accepting late submissions and all. Naintindihan ko, we will give as much as possible patient, but sumusobra naman pag, 'di ba, umaabot na ng months, okay, yung late submission mo at isasubmit mo na lang siya sa akin pagpatapos na yung semester. I will not accept that one, okay? So, subject to the academic freedom of the faculty, manual checklist with complete entries for corresponding rationale must be submitted along with the recorded demonstration. So, example lang natin, magsasend kayo ng video for basic PPE or wearing PPE. So, dapat, sa video na yon, meron din kayong attachment nung picture ng checklist na yon. Okay, naintindihan? Again, kung ano man yung ipapasend ko for the week na video, okay, return demonstration na video, kasama na isasubmit nyo or i-attach nyo yung checklist na picture niya. So, para hindi kayo mahirapan na as a whole na, baka sabihin nyo, Ma'am, ang dami-dami naman nito, tapos i-attach ko po sa isahan, baka mahirapan po ako. So, each video na lang na presentation ninyo, doon nyo i-attach yung certain na checklist na sinunod nyo with all the rationales na filled out. And the purpose, lahat ng sinabi ko kanina na ano yung i-fill out ninyo. So, the students shall notify the instructor in case of difficulty of sending outputs online prior to its due date. So, if ever magkaroon kayo ng problem, kasi ganito, inform me. Hindi yung lagpas na ng deadline tapos tsaka kayo magre-reason out na, Ma'am, hindi ako nakasubmit on the deadline kasi ganito. So, ahead of time, okay, so, example, magsasubmit na kayo at bukas na yung deadline. So, ngayon, nagkakaroon kayo ng problem. So, you will inform me na, Ma'am, baka po malate po ako kasi ganito, as of now, sending pa po ako ng aking video. So, at least alam ko na malilate kayo kasi that time, nagsisend pa kayo ng video at mahina yung internet connection. So, as such, the instructor will accommodate submission in the College of Health Sciences on the time and on the date and time agreed by the faculty. So, pwede nyo kung may mga students na nandito lang sa Marawi, you can submit your video personally sa college. So, pwede nyo kong kausapin or i-chat nyo lang ako na kailan ako nandoon or we will meet there para maibigay nyo sa akin through flash drive. So, you will give me a USB copy or a flash drive and then doon ko papanoorin. Okay? Then, ibabalik ko lang siya sa inyo pag tapos ko nang mapanood. So, the students are enjoined to contact the instructor only given time, schedule, consultation hours, or as arranged by the concerned faculty. So, ako, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. lang yung maximum na pag-reply ko. If after 7 p.m. kayo mag-PM sa akin, baka hindi na ako makarespond sa inyong inquiries. So, as much as possible, Mondays to Fridays, pwede nyo akong i-contact 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 p.m. onwards, hindi na ako makaka-reply agad-agad. And I will not be entertaining questions as such. And also, for weekends, hindi rin ako nag-entertain ng mga queries for weekends because it is weekend. Okay? And then, the students, or in situation where the student fails to attend 30% of the total class activities, drop will be given. So again, 30% of the total class participation or yung mga activities natin hindi ka naka-attend, I will give you drop. Okay? So, the instructor shall notify the advisor of the status of the student for appropriate action. No instructor can be recorded in his or her online classes without his or her consent. Spread or sharing of these unwarranted recordings in the online platforms without the instruction's knowledge will be sanctioned. Further, no recorded presentation of the students will be shared or posted by the instructor online without the consent of the student. Kung ano man yung mga mai-post ko, mai-share ko na video sa inyo, ninyo, na discussion ko, or pinakita ko yung video presentation, as much as possible, do not share it without my knowledge. Especially yung mga videos na isasubmit ko or ipapakita ko sa inyo ng mga pre-recorded videos are recorded, or mga videos ng ating instructor sa MSU. So, kasi ginawa nila to last semester ng mga videos, so hindi ko pwedeng ibigay basta-basta sa ibang students. So, example lang natin, kayo, may kaklase kayo, or may mga batchmates kayo from other schools na meron din silang fundamentals. You cannot give our video without my knowledge. The video is solely for MSU students only. Okay? So, for the conduct of return demonstration. So, ito yung mga guidelines ninyo na students. The students must be in complete uniform in performing return demonstration on screen. So, if you will record your video, you need to be in uniform. Okay, tatanungin nyo ko, ma'am, paano po kung wala akong wala akong uniform? So, as much as possible, you look for white. Kahit naka-white t-shirt ka or basta plain white na pants and then white na t-shirt or long sleeve, basta malinis kang tingnan sa video. And for Muslim students, I want you to wear white kombong. Okay? Na naka-attach ng maayos sa ulo ninyo, hindi yung nahuhulog lagi. So, I advise you wear mukna para mas maganda tingnan, and at the same time, hindi nakakaalibadbaran or hindi ka nalibadbaran during the video na may nahuhulog na kumbong during na perform ka. If you wish not to wear your kumbong, then you may do so, and please tie your hair. Ayusin ninyo yung buhok ninyo if ayaw ninyong mag-wear ng kumbong. For the non-Muslims, please tie your hair. Okay? So, pwedeng naka-ponytail or yung yung tipong duty na natin, yung nakaputo, yan siya. Yan yung kailangan na ayusin ninyo, okay? So, start the video return demonstration by giving a brief definition and purpose of the procedure. So, sasabihin niyo yung definition, the purposes, the nursing consideration during the procedure, and then tsaka kayo mag-proceed sa mga steps. Okay? So, steps of the procedure can be done either verbatim, word by word, from the checklist, or by using your own words, provided that these steps are precisely done according to the checklist. Okay? So, dalawang klase lang yan. It's either yung step by step, or word by word yung gagawin nyo per checklist, or you will based on your understanding on your own words na in English, not in Tagalog, not in Bisaya, not in Maranao, in English. Kung hindi nyo din makaya na sabihin yung in your own words in English, might as well gawin nyo na lang verbatim or word by word. Okay? So, English is the preferred language medium in the performance of the return demonstration. A maximum of 15 minutes is set for each procedure. So, limited lang yan siya to 15 minutes, hindi yung umaabot ng 1 hour. Okay? 2 hours, 30 minutes. As much as possible, limit it to 15 minutes. So, the equipment needed for each procedure may be borrowed from the college laboratory. If you wish to borrow, so you will ask permission for the laboratory custodian. So the students may only resort to assume makeshift equipment or paraphernalia if the needed equipment is not available at the college. Proper decorum must be exercised throughout the entire video. Sample wearing of complete uniform and use appropriate language and etc. No laughing at your videos na ipapakita nyo pa yung bloopers nyo. No. As much as possible, make it formal because it will be your grade. So, the recorded videos of return demonstration can be sent online via Telegram app, Google Classroom, or other easy file transfer connectivity. So, sabihan nyo lang ako kung saan nyo gusto. Kung gusto nyo sa Messenger, pwede sa Messenger. Kung gusto nyo sa Google, kung gusto nyo link, kasi mag-upload kayo sa YouTube video. So, bahala na kayo dyan. So please observe social distancing and wearing complete PPEs and notify your clinical instructor ahead of time if you wish to personally submit your equipment or your output through a flash drive. So ahead of time, sabihan nyo ako na ma'am, i-meet ko kayo or pwede po kayo this day, i-meet ko po kayo para submit po ako ng videos ko personally. And then, minimal graphical and musical editing of recorded videos are encouraged. As much as possible, ayoko yung lakas-lakas ng volume ng mga videos ninyo na puro music. Yes, it is part of your creativity and so on and so forth. Pero pag along the, for example, sinasabi nyo na ngayon mga procedures or yung mga steps, tapos meron pa kayong videos na background, parang, di ba, at hindi ko na marinig yung boses ninyo na nagsasabi ng ganito yung gagawin, tapos mas narinig ko yung music na background, hindi maganda yung perform niyo. Okay? Raw recording showing performance of the procedure with thorough rationale explanation is highly encouraged. Editing of videos where rationales are not recited but pointed out on screen is prohibited. All rationale must presented in the step-by-step performance of the nursing procedure. So, example lang natin gagawin nyo is, okay, explain the procedure to the patient. Tapos, pinaperform nyo. Tapos, hindi nyo sinabi yung rationale. Nilagay nyo lang sa screen na rationale, ganito. No. As much as possible, you will say, okay, sasabihin mo talaga ano yung rationale per step. You will not write it down in the video, okay, or comment lang. No. Okay? And in instances where the student did not meet satisfactory performance of the procedure, the student will have to repeat the return demonstration and will not advance to the next module unless satisfactory marks are obtained. So, as much as possible, kailangan maayos yung ibigay nyo sa akin na video na pag makita ko, okay, naintindihan nyo, and then you will proceed to another module. Ito yung ating grading system. 60% for your video. So, diba? Ang laki-laki. The video with all the step-by-step procedures and your rationale. So, that is 60% of your total grade na 100%. We have modular exams or quizzes for 20%. And then requirement, which is the portfolio, that is 10%. And attitude and attendance or class participation or online class participation is 10%. Okay, so here is the rubric that will be used as an assessment tool that will clarify, indicate achievement criteria across all the components of any student work from oral to written. So ito yan siya. 90 plus points or above yung points mo is outstanding. Output provides accurate details and concise answers to posed questions. The work shows thorough understanding of the concept, sound use of subject in hand, and the student demonstrates well-organized answer. For 80 to 89 points na very satisfactory, the work is thorough and of a level that meets expectations. Student demonstrated a sound understanding of the course issues, good analysis, and a clear, neat presentation with the narrow errors in mechanics such as your grammar, citation, and source of referencing consistent of APA guidelines from a good range of sources. 75 to 79 points, satisfactory. The work is generally thorough and or of a level that only partially meets expectations. Student demonstrated conflicting or surface understanding of course issues with sufficient analysis and significant errors and mechanics. Example lang natin pag magpapabigay ako ng requirements or activity na in essay. Essay yan ha. So as much as possible, umaabot ng 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs. And ang maximum sentences in 1 paragraph is umaabot ng 10 to 20. So, ganun yung paggawa. Hindi yung pag 1 paragraph ka lang and then 2 sentences, 3 sentences. That is not a paragraph. That is not how you answer an essay question. Okay? So, for below 75, which is poor or needs improvement, the work is incomplete and late. The student demonstrated insufficient understanding of course issues analysis and or substantial mechanical error. So, ang daming mali-mali yung grammar, yung English niya, yung spelling ng mga words. So, that is below 75. So, ito na yung ating portfolio. So, ano ba yung portfolio? The course portfolio is composed of the student's personal journal, evidences of performing all the skills procedures of nursing 120.2, the screenshots of video simulation, and the compilation of all the course modular evaluation. This requirement will be collected towards the end of the course and will comprise 10% of the total grades. Example lang natin, other than yung videos ninyo, yung mga simulations ninyo, pag may mga evaluation exams ako, mga quizzes akong ibibigay, kasama yan sa i-attach ninyo sa portfolio. So, example lang natin, first grading or first module, meron akong dalawang activities. So, isasama yan siya sa portfolio niyo. So, you will divide this portfolio for modules. So, first module, second module, third module, fourth, and then fifth or sixth, then until the last. Then, yung mga per activity per module, yun yung gagawin ninyo na i-attach nyo dito sa portfolio. So, in presenting the portfolio, it must have the following basic components. We have the title page. So, we have the table of contents, the modular evaluation, the proof of skills performance, at least 1 to 2 pictures or screenshots per skill procedure, and then personal journal. So, i-express nyo yung thoughts, feelings, and experiences in undergoing the course. So, example lang natin, nagpa-perform ka ng wearing PPE. So, sasabihin nyo doon yung mga ginawa ninyo, okay? Mga natutunan ninyo, mga thoughts ninyo. Pwedeng nagkaroon kayo ng difficulty kasi nawalan kayo ng ilaw or naghanap ka ng mga gloves kung saan-saan, yung mga ganun. So, it's a personal journal. Para din naintindihan ko kung ano yung mga, na mga experience na nag-undergo kayo through a online na setup. Okay? So, rubric 4 portfolio, pag yung points mo is 90 to 100, all required items are included with a significant number of additions. So, items are clearly and excellently presented, well organized, and creatively displayed. 75 to 89, all requirements are included with a few additions, and items are well organized and presented, showing some creativity. 60 to 75, all items are included and items are somewhat organized, no creativity displayed. 40 to 59 ang scored, a significant number of required items are missing and items are presented poorly, no creativity shown, and 0 for no work submitted. So, ano to? Isa-submit online. Yes, i-attach nyo siya sa ating classwork, and then it is para hindi masira yung pictures, mga screenshots na sinend nyo doon sa pagkakagawa ninyo, is pwede siyang through PDF na format, or kung gusto nyo, i-print nyo pa siya and then ipipicture nyo siya. Depende na yan sa inyo. As much as possible, may present nyo siya ng maayos sa akin. And if you wish to submit it personally, kasi gusto nyo makita ko siya personal, and nandito lang naman din kayo sa Marawi, then you can do so. Okay. So, ito yung papakita ko sa inyo yung ito yung ating course scope and outline. Ito yung sinasabi kong mga modules. For module 1, we have the basic infection control. Sa skill 1, dito yung medical hand washing, and skill 2, the donning and removing of the personal protective equipment or your PPEs. For module 2, we have the hygiene and comfort. So dito natin gagawin yung mga skills such as yung administering a tepid sponge bath or TSB. We have performing a bed bath, shampooing hair, performing oral care, providing special oral care, changing a hospital gown for a patient with an intravenous fluid, changing an unoccupied bed, and post-mortem care. For Module 3, we have mobility and safety. So Skill 12, using principles of body mechanic, transferring or transporting clients and positioning. And then Module 4, assisting with elimination and perineal care. So we need to perform perineal care. Okay, we have providing catheter care, offering and removing bedpan and urinal, and collecting urine specimen. For Module 5, we have the oxygenation. So, yung mga skills na gagawin natin, we have administering oxygen and teaching deep breath exercise. For last na module, which is the fluids and electrolytes, so dito yung gagawin natin mga skills, we have starting an intravenous infusion. So, monitoring an intravenous infusion fluid, changing an intravenous container and tubing, and discontinuing an intravenous infusion. So, ito yung ating guide. Okay, na ano yung, ma'am, ano yung isasubmit namin within this week? Ano yung ganito, ganyan? So, ito yung mga sunod-sunod na isasubmit natin. We'd start with medical hand washing up to the last, which is the skill 24, the discontinuing an intravenous infusion. Okay? So, ito yung ating references, the modules for basic nursing skills, 6th edition, kay Taylor's clinical nursing skills, our nursing approach. We have fundamentals of nursing by Cozier and Barbara and et al. We have the Lippincott Manual of Nursing Practice. We have the Davis Guide to Clinical Nursing. We have the Timmy Barbara Fundamental Nursing Skills and Concepts 8th edition, and the Nurse's Guide to Clinical Procedures 5th edition by Lippincott, Williams, and Wilkins. So yan yung ating mga references na pwede nyong gamitin to para makuha yung mga rationale for each steps. So, I think that's all. I hope you had understood all the discussions na sinabi ko sa inyo at clear sa inyo yung mga guidelines niyo na gagawin during your return demonstration and paano ko kayo gagraduhan. So, you may repeat this one para mas maintindihan niyo paano ako magbibigay ng grades, at the same time ano yung mga sinabi ko na mga rules and regulation for this subject matter. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you have learned a lot from this, and wassalam.